So I am super excited to record this video for you tonight about the forgotten powerhouse of the human body that we can see through the rituals of many ancient cultures. And specifically tonight, I'm going to be talking about ancient Egypt, who had profound rituals to catalyze the alchemical force of the body and remove the kind of blocks that we experience in today's modern society. Things like being trapped behind false identities, struggling with limiting beliefs, and getting stuck in self sabotaging patterns, like in our relationships, in the area of money, our career. In today's society, we go straight to the mind to heal these things. Affirmations, counseling, talking therapies, hypnotherapies, NLP. But we forget that the body is a powerful alchemical container for destruction and rebirth. And it holds deep wisdom that can be remembered. Many in society right now feel deeply disempowered, and stepping into our untamed ancient wisdom can be the key to create powerful self-ownership that is going to take you beyond the fear that closes off our superconscious mind and keeps us trapped, therefore, in the mind. Instead, we get to deepen into this superconscious mind, access heightened states of consciousness, intuition, and creative power. But take heed. As we know, both men and women have been crucified for this heightened psychic power and prophecy in the past. This has taught us that these natural abilities are somehow dangerous and dark. Our conditioning has also taught us to fear our darkness, our rage, our grief, and taught us to suppress our deepest desires. These are the things in modern society that we are taught to numb with the distractions and even medications that are handed out willy-nilly all day long. But what if they are your path to reclaim your sovereignty? That is what this powerful video is about today. The unseen as a powerful force that many just do not know how to work with. When I was coaching, I used to talk about these three areas: the known, the unknown, and the stuff that we don't know that we don't know. And I used to say that creation, true creation, always lay or lies in the unknown and the stuff that we don't know that we don't know. Why? Because the stuff that we know is limited. The stuff that we know has been created by past experiences that often have not been positive. So there, we're also trying to stay safe within what we know. But what I know is that safe often means the same. And this is where we get stuck in these unfulfilling, not meaningful, crappy patterns. So how do we truly break free of those? How do we access true creation in these areas of the unknown and the stuff that we don't know, the mysteries of creation, power, and deep surrender? This is what I'm going to share with you in this video today, and I'm going to take you through these powerful ancient rituals that you can bring into your modern day practice. And the reason that we should be looking at these right now is that the modern world truly strips you of your power, whilst this ancient wisdom can only activate it. These rituals will help you burn through false identities fast and dismantle the societal conditioning that is holding you back from stepping into your full creative power without the fear of judgment that you probably don't realize that you have right now. You'll also be able to improve your health and accelerate your spiritual evolution. so that you can live a more vital and meaningful life. I am the creator of the Awakened Wealth app, which is a free app where you can access 7 simple neurosomatic rituals to help you to access the superconscious mind every single day and manifest more easily. Because I believe that the route to wealth is not what we have been taught it to be. Our vitality, our happiness, our joy are the things that we sacrifice for the wealth, for gaining the wealth, chasing the wealth, seeking the wealth in the way that modern day society has taught us to. Our vitality and our fulfillment, especially, are the things most sacrificed along this conditioned path to wealth. So, what if true wealth lies already existing in your body? In ancient Egypt, this was referred to as the Ka, Ka, the vital life force, the energetic double that sustained a person in both the physical and spiritual realms. The body was made up of the Ka, the Ba, and the Ak. Keeping the Ka body strong was essential to eternal existence. And while you might not be here in search of eternal life, there are definitely benefits to watching and learning about what I'm about to share anyway. About how the Egyptians practiced ritual magic, breathwork, movement, sex magic, and other rites to maintain the Ka body's strength. Are you ready to dive in? What I'm going to share with you is based on some foundational principles that I'm going to take you through right now. The first is that the ancient rituals of Egypt believed in an underworld. There was a connection between the underworld and the wombs of women, and women went through symbolic death and rebirth rituals to mirror the myth of Isis resurrecting Osiris. Isis and Osiris were the most important couple in Egyptian mythology. Isis was the goddess of the moon, agriculture, medicine, and motherhood. And Osiris was the god of the dead, of the crops, of agriculture, and health. Osiris was killed by his jealous brother Set, who wanted the throne. And Set dismembered Osiris into 14 pieces that Isis used her intuition to seek out. They were scattered all over Egypt, and she was able to bring them back together, except for one piece, which was his penis. And she restored his body. She then gave birth to a son, Horus, also a very famous Egyptian god. And there's deep symbolism in this. The ability to connect with the deepest intuitive power, the possibility of rebirth by confronting fears, traumas, and hidden truths, even if it means going into the darkness. The second principle upon which these ancient rituals are founded is the existence of Kundalini. Kundalini is our life force energy, also known as the sacred serpent, that lies dormant, coiled up at the base of the spine until such time as it is activated. Ancient Egyptian priestesses of Isis and Hathor used breathwork, dance, and sexual energy practices to awaken this serpentine life force. This energy was seen as both destructive and creative, burning away false identities to reveal divine feminine power that I believe is locked within every woman. You may have heard of Kundalini awakening, the almost violent awakening of this Kundalini energy. And the reason that we would want to awaken it is because of the speed in which it clears limiting beliefs and blocks. Snakes, particularly the cobra, the uraeus, symbolize this initiatory fire, a raw, untamed force that rises and transmutes sexual energy into spiritual awakening. Temple priestesses, who were sacred sexual initiates, engaged in practices that used, again, the breath, movement, and sound to open their womb gateways and access heightened states of consciousness. They were engaged in sexual rites with men so that they could access heightened states of awareness and eternal life. The third principle upon which these ancient rituals are founded is that women were revered because of their connection to the cycles of death, rebirth, and creation. The womb was revered. Menstruation was honored as a sacred portal. Women gathered in red tents or moon temples to channel divine messages, and blood offerings were made to the land or to goddess altars. Women also summoned the goddess Sekhmet, who was the dark side to the goddess Hathor. Hathor was a joyful goddess. She was known as the goddess of intoxication, love, music. But this dark side, Sekhmet, was a fierce lioness. The advantage of Sekhmet was the ability to digest false identities in the fire of her belly. So through drumming, chanting, and trance dancing, they accessed these altered states of consciousness where they could channel Sekhmet to do this for them. Learning to harness both light and darkness within is another huge principle that these ancient rituals are founded upon. It was understood that fears and blocks were most often concealed, which is true of modern day, right? Most of the stuff that is blocking us, we can't access. We're not aware of it. It's unconscious. This is why certain initiations actually required complete silence for days, weeks, forcing women to listen to their inner voices, visions, and ancestral wisdom. Going back to modern day society and the numbing, the constant distraction, the constant having our phones at the end of our arms, advertising, televisions, jobs that keep us on a 9-to-5 treadmill, never stopping, never taking time to pause. We don't access these states of silence that give access to this inner voice that is waiting to be heard. This was a rite of deep receptivity, a way to surrender to the unseen, while strengthening this inner authority, this inner voice, trusting it, knowing that it had all the wisdom that you need to move forward. Again, when we look at this modern world, we're taught to seek outside of ourselves, to trust the voices outside of ourselves, to trust the teacher, to trust the coach, to trust the mentor, to always need a strategy or a proof that something is going to work. In this modern day world, it's humiliating to be in the darkness. How many people do you know that have hidden depression away or even committed suicide because of the shame that they were holding around how they were feeling? When emotions are natural, emotions are messengers, and the darkness, the dark night of the soul, as I termed it for myself, gives access to the most powerful transformation wisdom. In ancient Egypt, the void, this darkness, the blackness, just like the phase of the moon where there is no moon, it was part of the cycle of creation. Creation began in the void. Destruction and rebirth were a part of life. And the ancient Egyptians never needed to seek outside of the breath and the movement of their own bodies to induce altered states and channel this primal energy to shed the identities that no longer served them. Ritualistic ecstatic dance was another tool used to embody this destruction and rebirth. The Hathoric trance dance is an example of that. This dance was a way to connect with the divine, transform the dangerous Sekhmet into the mild Hathor, and protect the land from evil demons. So are you seeing how these ancient rituals can help you face your shadow and reclaim your divine sovereignty? Let's talk now about how to incorporate them into your modern day practice. Number 1, daily breath work. You can call this a ka energy activation, and it is super, super simple. The Egyptians believed that breath nourished the ka. So the priests and initiates practiced controlled breathing techniques to circulate and amplify this energy. A modern practice for this could be beginning your morning with diaphragmatic breath work, using a 4-second inhale, a 4-second hold, and an 8-second exhale. As you breathe, you can visualize this beautiful golden energy filling your body, strengthening your ka field. Another way is to incorporate sacred breath techniques like the Sahu breath, which is slow, deep nasal breathing, which enhances the life force circulation. It was believed that the ancient Egyptians traveled a lot, which is why we can see a lot of the ancient Egyptian rituals with breath actually incorporated into the very famous Indian breathworks like pranayama. They actually began in ancient Egypt. But what we see as this knowledge has been handed on is that a lot of it has been changed. Parts have been lost. I've talked a lot about this in my YouTube videos, how we had 13 chakras in ancient Egypt, but by the time this knowledge got to the East, we'd lost some of the chakras, and in losing the chakras, it's like losing the black keys on a piano. We no longer can create harmony in the body, and that's what the ancient Egyptians knew how to do. They had deep power about creating harmonic resonance, utilizing the body, utilizing the earth itself. The second way that you can incorporate this knowledge is through sun rituals and solar charging. The ancient Egyptians honored the sun god Ra, as the primary source of the ka energy. Initiates performed sun gazing at dawn and rituals to absorb its life force. That's why I wear this imperial topaz. It has a strong symbolism of, you can't see it, of being connected to the sun, able to bring in the sun's energy into the body. So what you can do in your modern day is spend 5 to 10 minutes facing the rising or setting sun with closed eyes, absorbing its energy. Again, I always do my morning meditation facing the east to sit with that rising sun, to absorb its beautiful golden light. You can recite the mantra Sa, Sekhmet, Sahu, which is a powerful invocation meaning life force, vital power, spiritual body. Finally, as you see, the Egyptians still wear white or light colored clothing, and this reflects and channels solar energy. So the third thing that you can do is what I call sacred movement and ka body flow. The ancient Egyptians used to use ritual dance and Tai Chi-like movements, which balanced and expanded the ka body. A modern day practice of this can be beginning your day with slow, intentional movements. Qigong is perfect. Again, this knowledge has traveled from ancient Egypt and been adapted. You can just use serpentine and wave-like motions to mimic the flow of the ka through the spine. The yogis say that a flexible spine is, again, a sign of vitality. So create that movement. Use yoga that opens the channels of the body for this energy to move. Play drumming or deep vibrational music to awaken the body's energetic resonance. The fourth thing that you can do is anointing. This is called oil magic for the ka. The ancient Egyptians would anoint their body with sacred oils such as blue lotus, myrrh, or frankincense, and this would strengthen the ka field and maintain high frequency energy. Every morning I wake up and I use beautiful blue lotus oil on my face. It is a sacred practice that I don't miss for anything. So you can try this after a shower. Apply blue lotus oil or a blend of frankincense and myrrh. You can apply to your face and the body, or you can apply to your pulse points. Again, the Ayurvedic way is to wake in the morning and apply oils to all of the body in this beautiful sacred, almost like stroking, and then get into the shower and not use any soap. So again, we're seeing how this ancient wisdom has traveled and just been adapted. As you anoint your body, you can state, my ka is strong, my energy is pure, my spirit is sovereign. The fifth thing is around frequency, sound frequencies and chanting to harmonize the ka. As I mentioned earlier, the Egyptians knew about all of these powerful energy centers in the body. There were many, many more energy centers in the body than we know today. Way more meridians, more chakras. They believed that we had vortexes of energy rising up through the central channel of the body and connection points on the body to the universal field. And if there was a block anywhere in these, that would cause disharmonic resonance, which would cause chaos in the external world. So they were always looking to harmonize the energy body, harmonize the ka. So an ancient practice would have been chanting, toning, and using sistrum rattles to clear blockages in the ka field and elevate vibration. What you can do in your modern day practice is chant the following ka activation mantra, which is Hu, the primordial sound of creation, or Amun-Ra, to harmonize your energy. You can use crystal singing bowls, tuning forks, or sistrums to cleanse and strengthen your aura. You can use special sounds to vibrate your entire body and expand your ka field. We can awaken the Kundalini energy with the hare, hare, hare sound. So sound is really powerful to create vibration in the body, to activate those energy centers, and to expand that beautiful ka field. Number 6 was offerings to nourish the ka. So the ancient Egyptians would place food, water, flowers on altars to energetically feed their ka. A modern day practice of this can actually be to set up your own beautiful altar with fresh fruits, water, and sacred objects like crystals, symbols of Ra, Hathor, or Isis. You can offer a cup of water to your higher self each morning, saying, I nourish my ka, my life force flows freely. You can also follow a really beautifully purified diet, whole, unprocessed foods to strengthen your physical and energetic body. You can use fasting to support detoxification, and herbs and other minerals, high vibration foods, all to support that beautiful ka body. The 7th thing was sleep and dream incubation, which was regenerating the ka at nighttime. And in ancient Egypt, the priests and initiates actually used dream temples for ka restoration. They would sleep in sacred spaces to receive guidance from their higher selves. It's interesting because since I have deepened my work in this area, every single new moon have what I call a new moon dream. It's almost like in that void, I am gifted insight from the unseen. There is not a month goes by that I don't have this soul dream. It is the type of dream that I hadn't ever experienced before my spiritual awakening. It feels like I am really there, feeling in the moment what is happening in the dream. And these dreams bring me these profound messages, these profound insights and prophecies I see in these dreams, what is yet to happen or what is happening. And this is what happens when you begin to use these rituals, when you begin to tap into this ancient wisdom in the body. It is not a case of learning, it is a case of remembering. And your life begins to rapidly change as you start to be guided by a power that is higher, higher than yourself, your higher self, your soul, effectively. So what you can do to support this practice, this ancient practice, is to sleep with lapis lazuli underneath your pillow. You can use quartz as well, and this is going to amplify your dream connection. Before you go to sleep, set intention. Tonight, I receive the wisdom my car needs to thrive. Then upon waking, write down your dreams. You're not writing what happened. You're writing how you felt. You're writing what was behind what you've seen. And this is messages from your car itself. The car is your soul. And your soul is orchestrating everything. And so, do you think it's time that we should start listening to the soul? It holds messages for us. It is creating these reflections in our life to help us. But because of the distraction, because of our fears, because of this societal conditioning, we're just not listening, and we're not thriving, and we're not progressing. So what I'd like to finish with is a beautiful 10-minute routine that you can use every single day to strengthen your car. This is going to begin with the morning sun ritual, which is breathing deeply whilst absorbing that sunlight. If you can begin to rise with the sun, just every night look at your phone and see what time the sun is rising, and encourage yourself to go and rise with the sun. I set a beautiful altar out on my deck, and I sit in front of my altar facing east, and I just do beautiful rhythmic breath. And sometimes I go into breath retention, sometimes I don't. I focus on connecting to the earth and the elements, and I connect, it's like creating the soul's, or connecting to the soul's frequency, but we are absorbing that beautiful sunlight from Amun-Ra. I then get up and I do these slow, fluid motions to awaken my energy. I'm awakening the snake, right? You don't even have to get up from the ground to do this. You can begin moving the spine. Holding on to the pelvic floor is a really powerful way to stir the Kundalini. I imagine a bowl at the bottom of my spine, and as with the breath, I am holding down the pelvic floor as I breathe in, and I'm allowing the energy to fill this bowl and then spill over. And with the rhythmic breath, with the exhale, I'm feeling that energy move up the spine, and I am feeling it circulate round. So after a little while, and you're focusing on the movement of the energy as well, and I'll often feel this like crazy vibration in my face, which is signifying these snakes awakening, right? The movement of this Kundalini energy up the Ida and Pingala, which then reaches this peak here. And then you can begin to follow the movements, play some music, get into some beautiful sacred dance, awakening your beautiful sexual energy, feel like the goddamn goddess. Okay. And then celebrate her. And you can do this when you're a man as well. It doesn't just mean, I'm a woman, so I can access my sacred sexuality. Men have the divine feminine within, and it's powerful to access her beautiful surrender, her beautiful vulnerability, because you're creating a sacred union between your masculine energy and your feminine energy, which leads to more manifestation. So once we have awakened the snakes, we have moved the energy, we have soaked in the sun, we have created coherence with the breath, we're going to use the Ka anointing. You're going to apply those sacred oils whilst affirming your beautiful power. And I mentioned some of those affirmations earlier in the video. We then get into some chanting and sound work. So you're going to use vocal tonings or instruments to vibrate your energy field. This could be tuning forks, sound bowls, or just a beautiful chant of the VUM, just an or like awaken that knowledge within, right? It's there within you. See what you're drawn to do in terms of making sound. Then we, at the end of the day, we want to set that dream intention, you know, so it is about really feeling where you are in your journey. And you can journal, right, at the same time. You might want to go into some journaling now to reflect on where you are, reflect on where you want to be, reflect on or set intention for the guidance that you want to come in. And by practicing these ka strengthening rituals, you reconnect with ancient Egyptian wisdom and cultivate a powerful, sovereign energy field that supports your spiritual evolution, supports your vitality, and most of all, supports your creative power. I hope that this has been a helpful video. If you are curious to learn more, I created a 3-part intimate masterclass that goes deeply into what I call the lost chapter, the forgotten chapter of Think and Grow Rich, which is about the sexual energy transmutation that was one of the key rituals of the ancient Egyptians. When Napoleon Hill wrote that chapter, he was talking about how this is the key to manifestation, the key to wealth. But most people skip over the chapter. So what I've done in that intimate 3-part masterclass is really dig deeper and actually show you what Napoleon Hill actually neglects to include in the chapter. And that is how you start to harness this creative power, this sexual energy for creation, for manifestation. So if you're interested in checking that out, head down into the description. Like I said, I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Let me know by liking it. Subscribe to my channel for future content, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.